ASEAN countries are stepping up their capabilities to guard against cross-border outbreaks of emerging diseases, and Singapore has been doing its part to help some countries grow their pool of qualified medical personnel in detecting and containing outbreaks in their countries early. For this week's Spotlight, Hetty Misfira travelled to Laos to see how these efforts are making a difference.
Laos has a population of over 6 million people. As its economy continues to open up, it's fast becoming a tourist magnet, drawing over 3 million visitors in recent years. And in light of emerging diseases such as Ebola, the country has also been developing its biosafety capabilities. Leading the efforts is Dr. Daruni Phonko, a deputy director at one of the country's health and research institutions. She's been conducting training sessions like this, ensuring medical professionals in the country are better aware of the do's and don'ts when handling samples of suspected cases of infectious diseases. This includes knowing the right protective gear to don when working in laboratories, how to wear them properly, transporting samples, and the right way of disposing waste material.
Especially right now we have Ebola. It's very dangerous if you don't know about biosafety, because we deal with the sample. So we don't know is this sample coming from the people contacting Ebola or not. As the Ebola is transferred by contact, so you don't know. If you don't aware about any sample, you are risky to contact the disease.
Such knowledge is said to be crucial in detecting and containing outbreaks of diseases early in the community. It's also important in alleviating the risk of laboratory-acquired infections, which could exacerbate an outbreak within the community and potentially cause cross-border outbreaks.
In order for your laboratory staff to work safely, you have to have systems in place that will ensure their safety, that will protect them from the agents that they're working with, but you also have to have systems in place to make certain that these agents aren't released out of the labs.
Safety protocols vary according to the level of risks involved. For example, when dealing with hepatitis B, a lab coat, gloves and eye protective gear will suffice. Labs should have restricted access and biohazard symbols. For higher risk diseases such as Ebola or smallpox, personnel are expected to wear a bubble suit. Labs should be equipped with airlock entry, and personnel should take a shower upon exit.
Now, part of the training program also includes training personnel on how to use what's known as a biosafety cabinet. This cabinet is important as it has a special ventilation system that forms a barrier between the worker and the hazardous agent.
Dr. Daruni herself got her training in a biorisk management program initiated by Singapore's Temasek Life Sciences Laboratory and supported by a $1 million grant from Temasek Foundation. Started in 2010, the program aims to equip neighbouring countries with basic biosafety knowledge so that they are prepared and able to respond better in times of outbreaks.
Singapore, being part of this interconnected world, should see ourselves as part of the community and be part of the effort to address the threat of emerging infectious disease. It is just not enough to have the best facilities and train people in Singapore. Because of the interconnectedness, you have the diseases coming in without the need for a passport. Having readiness in terms of countries and people in the front line prepared for such emerging diseases already is a very important first step. When an emerging disease happens, you want to be able to respond to it very quickly. And having this network of people who are already trained and who can work together with one another is an important second step.
Other than Laos, 4 other ASEAN countries have benefited from the program, namely Myanmar, Indonesia, Vietnam and Cambodia. In all, Temasek Life Sciences Laboratory has directly trained over 200 personnel who would then pass on their knowledge to medical personnel in their respective countries. The aim is also to get them to develop their own sustainable practices.
So right now, in this country, there is still a gap, okay, to build up this capability in an emergency. If there is a spill, if there is a cut, if you are exposed, what to do? At least as a first responder, they are able to assess the level of incident and knowing what to do. In some countries, they don't even have the resources, the luxury of having a disposable glove. They need to wear the same glove throughout instead of throwing every time they work. So we recommend that after each work, they still can wash the external and then spray with alcohol.
Dr. Daruni says with the program, biosafety standards in Laos have become more structured. She has also successfully trained personnel in all provincial hospitals in the country.
Before doing the training, even they have some accident, they don't report. But after we give the information on biosafety, since the reporting of the accident in the laboratory is one component of biosafety as well. So now they are thinking how to follow up the people who get infection or get the accident while working.
The government has also endorsed a policy on lab work and implemented it last year.
Before, we do have some measures to follow, but still not really understand the meaning of what needs to be emphasized. So it is very useful that we can use this knowledge to translate the concept into real implementation in terms of laboratory. We have the trainers, and then the trainers, when they go back, disseminate this knowledge to the other staff, and then we'll make the laboratory unit more strong.
And so as ASEAN countries step up their capabilities in tackling emerging diseases, Singaporeans can also be more assured that there will be a smaller chance of them becoming victims of a disease outbreak in a neighboring country.